Living alone can be a journey into a world of peace and happiness, especially for older adults. In solitude, there is a unique kind of freedom that allows one to explore their thoughts and feelings without distraction. Imagine waking up in a space that is entirely your own, where every item reflects your personality and every corner holds a memory. This personal sanctuary can be a source of comfort and joy. When you live alone, you have complete control over your environment. You can choose how to decorate, what to eat, and when to go to bed. There are no compromises to make, no need to consider someone else's preferences. This control can lead to a sense of empowerment. You can create routines that suit your lifestyle, whether that means enjoying a quiet morning with a cup of tea or diving into a new hobby that sparks your interest. Solitude also offers a fresh start. It can be a time to reflect on the past and think about what you want for the future. Without the noise of daily interactions, you can hear your own thoughts more clearly. This can lead to self-discovery as you learn more about what truly makes you happy. You might find new passions or revisit old ones that you had set aside. Moreover, living alone can bring a deep sense of tranquility. Quiet moments can be soothing, allowing you to recharge and find peace within yourself. You can enjoy the simple pleasures of life, like watching the sunset or reading a good book, without interruptions. This tranquility can be a balm for the soul, especially in a world that often feels chaotic. In this space of solitude, you can also cultivate a deeper relationship with yourself. You learn to appreciate your own company and understand your needs better. This self-awareness can lead to greater confidence and a more fulfilling life. You may find that you are more resilient and capable than you ever realized. Ultimately, living alone can be a beautiful chapter in life. It offers a chance to embrace freedom, control, and self-discovery. It is a time to celebrate who you are and to create a life that feels right for you. In solitude, you can find not just peace, but also a renewed sense of purpose and joy. As people grow older, the longing for peace and quiet often becomes more pronounced. After years of managing busy households, raising children, and living in lively environments, many individuals find themselves yearning for stillness. The hustle and bustle of daily life can be overwhelming, and as responsibilities lessen, the desire for a calm space grows stronger. Take Margaret, for example. For decades, her home was filled with the sounds of laughter, the chaos of children playing, and the constant activity of family life. She loved every moment of it, but as her children grew up and moved out, and her grandchildren began to visit, she found herself longing for a little solitude. After each visit, when the toys were put away and the last of the giggles faded, Margaret would take a deep breath and feel a wave of relief wash over her. In those quiet moments, she would reclaim her space. She would sit in her favorite chair with a cup of tea, enjoying the stillness that enveloped her home. The walls that once echoed with noise now felt like a comforting embrace. Margaret discovered that this solitude was not just a break from the chaos. It was a chance to reconnect with herself. She could read her favorite books, tend to her garden, or simply watch the clouds drift by outside her window. This newfound peace brought her joy and a sense of well-being that she had not realized she was missing. It was in these moments of stillness that Margaret found clarity and contentment. She learned that solitude is not loneliness. It is a nurturing space where one can reflect, recharge, and appreciate the beauty of life. As people age, the importance of these quiet moments becomes clear. They provide a sanctuary from the demands of the past and a chance to embrace the present. For many, like Margaret, seeking stillness is a vital part of nurturing their well-being and finding joy in the simplicity of life. Living alone can be a source of great joy and personal growth. When we have the space to be by ourselves, we often find that we can explore our thoughts and feelings more deeply. This solitude allows us to reflect on our lives, our choices, and our dreams without the distractions that come from being around others. Take, for example, a 70-year-old gardener who has spent many years tending to his plants. Each morning, he wakes up early, enjoying the quiet of the dawn. As he steps into his garden, he feels a sense of peace wash over him. The routine of watering the flowers, pulling weeds, and watching the seasons change gives him a rhythm to his days. In these moments, he finds joy in the simple act of nurturing life. Gardening becomes more than just a hobby. It is a form of meditation. As he digs his hands into the soil, he reflects on his life, the choices he has made, and the lessons he has learned. The solitude of his garden allows him to connect with his inner self. He thinks about the people he has loved, the challenges he has faced, and the beauty that surrounds him. Living alone means he does not rely on others for emotional fulfillment. Instead, he finds happiness in his own company. He learns to appreciate the small things, like the sound of birds singing or the way the sunlight filters through the leaves. Each day brings new discoveries, and he feels a sense of accomplishment as he watches his garden flourish. Through this solitude, he grows not just as a gardener but as a person. He learns patience, resilience, and the importance of nurturing not only plants, but also his own spirit. The quiet moments spent alone in his garden become a source of strength and clarity. In the end, living alone can be a fulfilling experience. It allows for personal interest to blossom and encourages a deeper understanding of oneself. The 70-year-old gardener exemplifies how solitude. Liz had always been close to her family, but as she grew older, she found herself craving a space that was entirely her own. Living alone seemed like a dream, a chance to create a sanctuary where she could recharge and find peace. However, this dream quickly turned into a challenge when her family members began to invade her space. They would drop by unannounced, stay longer than she wanted, and often disrupt her routine. Liz felt overwhelmed and frustrated, struggling to balance her love for her family with her need for solitude. At first, Liz tried to accommodate everyone. She would push aside her own needs, thinking that family time was more important, but as days turned into weeks, she realized that this constant disruption was taking a toll on her well-being. She felt drained and unable to focus on her own life. It became clear to her that in order to thrive, she needed to set strong boundaries. With a newfound determination, Liz began to communicate her needs. She started by letting her family know that she cherished her time alone and needed them to respect her space. It wasn't easy at first. Some family members were surprised and even a bit hurt, but Liz stood firm, explaining that her well-being depended on having time to herself. Slowly, they began to understand. As Liz enforced these boundaries, she discovered the freedom that living alone could provide. She could enjoy her favorite activities without interruption, create a peaceful environment, and truly relax in her own home. The quiet moments became a source of strength, allowing her to recharge and reflect. Liz learned that prioritizing her needs did not mean she loved her family any less. It simply meant she was taking care of herself. Over time, her family adapted to this new dynamic. They started to call before visiting and respected her need for alone time. Liz felt a sense of relief wash over her. By prioritizing her personal well-being, she not only improved her own life, but also strengthened her relationships with her family. They learned to appreciate the time they spent together even more, knowing it was on her terms. Living alone taught Liz the importance of boundaries and self-care. She realized that it was okay to put herself first sometimes. This journey helped her grow into a more confident and balanced person, ready to face the world with a clear mind and a peaceful heart. After years of sharing space with others, many people find that living alone brings a sense of freedom they never knew they needed. For someone like the forum participant at 65, this change can be life-changing. After decades of making compromises, adjusting to the needs and preferences of others, and often putting their own desires on hold, the decision to live alone can feel like a breath of fresh air. Living alone means having complete control over one's environment. There are no more arguments about what to watch on TV or when to have dinner. Every choice, from the color of the walls to the arrangement of furniture, can be made without needing to consider someone else's opinion. This newfound autonomy allows for a deeper sense of self. The participant can wake up when they want, enjoy breakfast at their own pace, and fill their days with activities that truly bring them joy. Independence in daily routines can lead to greater satisfaction. The freedom to create a personal space that reflects one's own tastes and interests can be incredibly fulfilling. For the forum participant, this might mean decorating with cherished items collected over the years, or setting up a cozy reading nook just for themselves. Each decision reinforces their identity and allows them to reconnect with who they are outside of shared living. Moreover, living alone can foster a sense of peace. Without the noise and distractions that come from sharing a home, there is more room for reflection and relaxation. The participant can enjoy quiet moments, whether it's sipping tea while watching the sunset or indulging in a favorite hobby without interruption. This solitude can be empowering, providing the time and space to think clearly and make decisions that align with personal values and goals. As the years go by, the importance of autonomy becomes clearer. The participant at 65 has likely spent much of their life accommodating others, and now, in this new chapter, They can finally prioritize their own needs and desires. This shift not only enhances their independence, but also leads to a greater sense of fulfillment and happiness. Living alone is not just about having a space to call one's own. It's about reclaiming the right to live life on one's own terms. In the end, the journey to solitude can be a powerful one, filled with opportunities for growth and self-discovery. For those who have spent years in shared spaces, the transition to living alone can be a celebration of freedom, independence, and personal satisfaction. For many years, selfless caregiving can become a way of life. Whether it's raising children, supporting a spouse, or caring for aging parents, the demands can be overwhelming. While these acts of love are noble, they often lead to burnout. The constant need to put others first can drain energy and joy, leaving little room for personal needs and desires. A poignant example of this struggle is a woman who shared her story on Reddit. After the passing of her husband, she found herself at a crossroads. For years, she had dedicated herself to caring for him and their family, often neglecting her own well-being. The loss was profound, but it also opened a door to a new chapter in her life. She realized that it was time to prioritize her own needs for the first time in years. Living alone after such a significant loss initially felt daunting, but it soon became a journey of self-discovery. She began to explore activities she had long set aside, like painting and hiking. With no one else to care for, she found freedom in making choices solely for herself. This newfound independence allowed her to reconnect with her passions and interests, leading to personal growth she had never anticipated. As she embraced self-care, she learned the importance of nurturing her own spirit. The quiet moments alone became opportunities for reflection and healing. She discovered that taking time for herself didn't mean she loved her family any less. Rather, it meant she was learning to love herself more. In this way, stepping away from constant caregiving can be a powerful catalyst for change. It allows individuals to reclaim their identities and pursue their own happiness. The journey may be challenging, but it can also be incredibly rewarding, leading to a richer, more fulfilling life. Living alone can be a powerful choice for older adults, allowing them to age in a way that feels right for them. This solitude offers a unique freedom, giving individuals the ability to decide when and how they seek help. For many, this means preserving their dignity and independence, which are essential for a fulfilling life. Take, for example, a man named John. As he grew older, he found that he wanted to avoid constant oversight from his children. While they cared deeply for him, their frequent check-ins sometimes felt overwhelming. John cherished his independence and wanted to manage his daily life on his own terms. Living alone allowed him to do just that. He could choose when to ask for help, whether it was for a small task like grocery shopping or for more significant needs like medical assistance. This autonomy not only made John feel more in control of his life, but also helped him maintain a sense of self-worth. He could enjoy his routines, engage in hobbies, and socialize at his own pace. When he did need support, he could reach out to his children or friends without feeling like he was a burden. This balance allowed him to keep his dignity intact while still having a safety net when necessary. In this way, solitude can enhance the quality of life for older adults. It empowers them to make choices that reflect their desires and needs, rather than feeling pressured by others. The ability to live on their own terms fosters a sense of pride and satisfaction, making their later years more enjoyable and meaningful. At 67, Robert found himself at a crossroads. After years of living in a large family home filled with memories, he decided to move to a smaller apartment. This change was not just about downsizing, it was about creating space for a new chapter in his life. Living alone opened up a world of possibilities that he had not considered before. In his new apartment, Robert felt a sense of freedom he hadn't experienced in years. The quietness of his surroundings allowed him to reflect on his life and what he truly wanted. He realized that he had spent so much time fulfilling the expectations of others that he had lost touch with his own desires. With no one to please but himself, he felt empowered to explore new interests. One day, while walking through his neighborhood, he noticed a small art studio offering classes. The vibrant colors and the laughter of students drew him in. On a whim, he signed up for a painting class. At first, he was nervous. He hadn't picked up a paintbrush since high school, but the instructor encouraged him to express himself freely. As he mixed colors and created his first canvas, Robert felt a spark of joy. It was as if he was rediscovering a part of himself that had been buried under years of routine. Each week, he looked forward to his art class, It became a sanctuary where he could let go of his worries and immerse himself in creativity. He met new people, shared stories, and learned from their experiences. The friendships he formed were genuine and refreshing, built on shared passions rather than obligations. Robert found himself laughing more, feeling lighter, and embracing the beauty of life in ways he hadn't thought possible. Living alone also gave him the chance to reclaim his independence. He started cooking meals for himself, experimenting with new recipes, and enjoying the process of preparing food. He decorated his apartment with his own artwork, filling the walls with colors that reflected his personality. Each brushstroke was a reminder that he was in control of his life, free to make choices that brought him happiness. As the months passed, Robert realized that solitude had become a source of strength. It allowed him to break away from the routines that had once defined him. He no longer felt the weight of expectations. Instead, he embraced the freedom to reinvent himself. The man who had once felt lost in the shadows of his past was now stepping into the light, filled with hope and excitement for the future. In this new chapter, Robert discovered that living alone was not about loneliness, but about self-discovery. It was a journey of finding joy in the little things, exploring new passions, and building a life that was truly his own. Solitude had transformed his world, and he was grateful for the opportunity to start anew. In her 70s, Margaret found herself living alone in a small, sunlit apartment filled with memories. Over the years, her home had become a collection of things: old furniture, dusty books, and countless trinkets that once held meaning, but now felt like burdens. As she sat in her living room, surrounded by the weight of her possessions, she realized that these items were not just cluttering her space. They were cluttering her mind as well. One day, Margaret decided it was time for a change. She began to sort through her belongings, picking up each item and asking herself if it truly brought her joy. With each decision to let go of something, she felt a sense of lightness. The old vase from her wedding day, which had sat untouched for years, was the first to go. It was a beautiful piece, but it no longer held the same significance. As she placed it in the donation box, she felt a wave of relief wash over her. As the weeks passed, Margaret continued her journey into minimalism. She cleared out her closet, donating clothes she hadn't worn in years. She let go of kitchen gadgets that had never seen the light of day. With each item she released, she felt a growing sense of clarity. Her apartment transformed into a serene space, free from the chaos of excess. The walls, once crowded with pictures and decorations, now displayed only a few cherished photographs that truly mattered to her. But it wasn't just her physical space that changed. Margaret also began to reflect on her relationships. She realized that some friendships felt more like obligations than sources of joy. With a gentle heart, she distanced herself from those connections that drained her energy. Instead, she focused on nurturing the relationships that brought her happiness and peace. This shift allowed her to cultivate a deeper sense of balance in her life. Living alone, Margaret discovered the beauty of simplicity. Her days became quieter, filled with moments of reflection and gratitude. She found joy in small things: a cup of tea on her balcony, the sound of birds singing outside her window, and the pages of a good book. The clutter that once surrounded her had been replaced by a sense of calm and purpose. Through her journey into minimalism, Margaret learned that letting go was not just about possessions or relationships. It was about creating space for what truly mattered. In her newfound simplicity, she found peace and balance, embracing each day with a heart full of gratitude. Living alone allowed her to declutter not just her home, but her mind, leading her to a life that felt lighter and more fulfilling. For many years, Sarah lived with her partner in a cozy apartment filled with shared memories and compromises. While she loved the time they spent together, she often found herself adjusting her preferences to fit someone else's. The meals they cooked were a constant negotiation, with her partner favoring spicy dishes while she preferred lighter, simpler fare. The decor reflected a blend of their tastes, but Sarah often felt that her own style was lost in the mix. After they decided to part ways, Sarah moved into her own small apartment. At first, the silence felt strange, but soon she began to appreciate the freedom that came with living alone. She could choose what to eat without considering anyone else's likes or dislikes. One evening, she prepared a simple pasta dish with fresh vegetables, savoring every bite without the need to accommodate another's palate. As she settled into her new life, Sarah discovered the joy of decorating her space exactly how she wanted. She painted the walls a soft blue, filled the shelves with books she loved, and arranged her plants in sunny spots. Each choice reflected her personality, and her home became a true sanctuary. Living alone also allowed Sarah to embrace her lifestyle fully. She could spend her weekends exploring new hobbies, like painting and gardening, without having to check in with anyone else. The freedom to make independent choices brought her a sense of satisfaction she had never experienced before. With each passing day, Sarah felt more in control of her life. The little decisions, from what to wear to how to spend her evenings, became sources of joy rather than burdens. She realized that autonomy was not just about being alone. It was about discovering who she truly was and what made her happy. In this new chapter, Sarah found that the freedom to make her own choices fostered a deep sense of fulfillment. She learned that living alone was not just a change in her living situation, but a journey toward self-discovery and empowerment. Emotional independence is an important step toward being ready to live alone. When someone learns to rely on themselves and develops emotional resilience, they often find that they no longer need constant companionship to feel fulfilled. This journey can be beautifully illustrated by the story of a participant who discovered strength within themselves and learned to appreciate solitude. At first, this person struggled with the idea of being alone. They often felt lonely and anxious, thinking that they needed others around to feel happy. However, as time went on, they began to explore their own interests and passions. They started to engage in activities that brought them joy, like painting, reading, or hiking. Through these experiences, they learned to enjoy their own company and found a sense of peace and solitude. As they grew stronger emotionally, they realized that being alone didn't mean being lonely. Instead, it became a time for self-reflection and personal growth. They learned to listen to their thoughts and feelings without the distractions of others. This self-awareness helped them understand their needs and desires better, allowing them to make choices that truly resonated with who they are. Living alone provided this participant with the freedom to create their own routines and spaces. They could decorate their home as they liked, cook meals that excited them, and spend their evenings in ways that felt fulfilling. This independence fostered a sense of control over their life, which further boosted their emotional resilience. They discovered that they could find joy in small moments, like sipping tea while watching the sunset or enjoying a quiet evening with a good book. Over time, the participant found that their emotional strength reduced the need for constant companionship. They still valued friendships and connections, but they no longer relied on them for happiness. Instead, they learned to cherish the time spent alone, recognizing it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. This newfound emotional independence allowed them to approach relationships from a place of strength rather than neediness. In conclusion, living alone can be a powerful catalyst for emotional growth and peace. By embracing solitude, individuals can cultivate self-reliance and resilience, ultimately leading to a richer, more fulfilling life. The journey of finding joy in one's own company is a testament to the strength that lies within each of us. Living alone can be a transformative experience, offering a unique space for personal growth and self-discovery. In the quiet of her own home, a woman named Clara found herself reflecting on the years that had slipped by, filled with responsibilities and distractions that had pushed her passions to the background. For years, she had neglected her love for painting, a hobby that once brought her immense joy and a sense of purpose. As she settled into her new routine of solitude, Clara began to notice the stillness around her. The absence of constant chatter and the demands of others allowed her to hear her own thoughts more clearly. With each passing day, she felt a gentle nudge from within, urging her to pick up a paintbrush again. The idea seemed both thrilling and daunting, but the more she embraced her solitude, the more she realized that this was the perfect opportunity to reconnect with herself. One rainy afternoon, Clara dusted off her old easel and gathered her paints, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. As she squeezed the colors onto her palette, memories of her younger self flooded back. Days spent lost in vibrant landscapes and abstract forms, where time seemed to stand still. With each stroke of the brush, she felt a sense of liberation. The canvas became a mirror reflecting her emotions, her dreams, and the essence of who she was. Living alone nurtured this growth, providing her with uninterrupted time to explore her creativity without the fear of judgment or interruption. She could paint for hours, losing herself in the colors and shapes, rediscovering the joy that had once filled her life. The solitude transformed into a sanctuary where she could express her innermost thoughts and feelings, allowing her to heal and grow in ways she had never anticipated. As the weeks turned into months, Clara's paintings began to evolve, just as she did. Each piece told a story, revealing layers of her identity that had long been buried. She found fulfillment not just in the act of painting, but in the journey of self-discovery that accompanied it. The solitude that once felt daunting became a cherished companion, guiding her back to her passions and helping her understand herself more deeply. Through her experience, Clara learned that living alone does not equate to loneliness. Rather, it can be a powerful catalyst for personal growth. In the quiet moments, she found the strength to embrace her true self, and in doing so, she rekindled a love that had always been a part of her. The time spent in solitude became a gift, allowing her to flourish and thrive in ways she had never imagined. In a quiet neighborhood, there lived a man named George who was in his 70s. After many years of working and raising a family, he found himself living alone. At first, he felt a bit lonely, but soon he discovered the joy of having complete control over his daily routine. Each morning, George would wake up without an alarm clock. He loved the gentle light of the sun streaming through his window, and he would stretch and take his time getting out of bed. Once he was up, George would head to the kitchen to prepare his breakfast. He enjoyed cooking, so he would make himself a hearty meal, often including his favorite scrambled eggs and toast. He took pleasure in savoring each bite, allowing himself to enjoy the flavors without rushing. After breakfast, he would sit by the window with a cup of coffee, watching the world outside come to life. As the day unfolded, George would decide when to exercise based on how he felt attendant some days. He would take a long walk in the nearby park, enjoying the fresh air and the sounds of nature. Other days, he preferred to do some gentle stretching or yoga in his living room. This flexibility allowed him to listen to his body and choose activities that matched his energy levels. In the afternoons, George would often dive into his hobbies. He loved reading, so he would spend hours lost in a good book. Sometimes, he would work on his garden, tending to the flowers and vegetables he had planted. He found joy in these simple tasks, and they filled his days with purpose. As evening approached, George would prepare dinner, often trying out new recipes he had found online. He enjoyed the process of cooking and would take his time, making it a relaxing part of his day. After dinner, he would settle down to watch his favorite shows or call a friend for a chat. Living alone gave George the freedom to design his days exactly how he wanted. He could choose when to eat, when to exercise, and how to spend his time. This control brought him a sense of peace and happiness. He realized that by aligning his daily schedule with his energy and preferences, he could create a fulfilling life that suited him perfectly. Living alone can be a beautiful journey towards peace, independence, and fulfillment. When you have your own space, you create an environment that reflects who you are and what you love. This solitude allows you to find calm in your daily life, free from the distractions and demands of others. You can enjoy quiet moments, engage in hobbies, or simply relax without feeling the need to please anyone else. Independence blossoms when you live alone. You make your own choices, from how to decorate your home to what to eat for dinner. This freedom empowers you to discover your preferences and strengths. You learn to rely on yourself, which builds confidence and resilience. Each decision you make, big or small, reinforces your ability to shape your life according to your desires. Moreover, living alone can lead to a deep sense of fulfillment. You have the time and space to explore your interests, pursue your passions, and reflect on your goals. This self-discovery can be incredibly rewarding as you uncover new aspects of yourself and what truly makes you happy. Embracing this chapter of your life allows you to grow in ways you may not have imagined. As you consider your own needs and desires, think about the possibilities that come with living alone. It can be a transformative experience that encourages you to embrace your autonomy and nurture your personal growth. Take a moment to reflect on what living alone could mean for you. It might just be the step you need to find peace. As we wrap up the main part of our video, I want to take a moment to thank you for joining me on this journey. Your presence means a lot, especially as we dive into such a poignant topic. The holiday season can evoke a whirlwind of emotions, and for many, particularly elder orphans, it often brings a profound sense of loneliness. It's a time when the absence of family and loved ones can feel especially heavy, making it all the more important to seek out moments of meaning and connection. Reflecting on my own experiences, I understand how challenging it can be to navigate the festive season without the familiar warmth of family gatherings. Yet, amidst that loneliness, there's a unique opportunity to find joy in new traditions, to create our own sense of belonging, and to reach out to others who may be feeling the same way. Now, as we transition to our next segment, I invite you to explore with me how we can cultivate that sense of connection and purpose during this time of year. If you've enjoyed this discussion, please consider liking, commenting, or subscribing to keep the conversation going. Your thoughts and experiences are invaluable, and I'd love to hear from you. Let's dive deeper into this topic together. The winter day in December unfolds with a quiet beauty that wraps the world in a soft white blanket. The air is crisp and sharp, filling your lungs with a refreshing chill that makes you feel alive. Above, the sky hangs heavy and gray, casting a muted light over everything below. Each step you take crunches on the frost that has settled underfoot, a delicate layer that sparkles like tiny diamonds when the light catches it just right. In the distance, the faint sounds of holiday cheer drift through the air, laughter, the jingle of bells, and the soft melodies of carols. These sounds, while joyful, can also feel like a reminder of what is missing. For many, this season is a time of togetherness, filled with warmth and love. But for elder orphans, the contrast can be stark. As the world around them celebrates, they may feel the weight of solitude pressing down, amplifying their sense of isolation. The beauty of the season, with its shimmering frost and gentle sounds, can turn bittersweet. It serves as a backdrop to their quiet lives, where the joy of others highlights their own longing for connection. The cold air, while refreshing, can also feel like a barrier, separating them from the warmth of family and friends. In this reflective moment, the winter day becomes a canvas of both beauty and melancholy, capturing the essence of a season that can be both magical and lonely. Elder orphans are older adults who find themselves without the traditional family support systems that many people rely on, such as spouses, children, or close relatives. This situation is becoming more common in our society, especially during the holidays when everyone is expected to gather with family and celebrate together. For those who are elder orphans, this time can be particularly difficult, as they may feel isolated or lonely, while others are enjoying family traditions. I can relate to this experience of aging without familial support. As I navigate my own journey, I often feel the weight of not having a close family network to lean on. The holidays can serve as a reminder of what is missing, making it clear how important these connections are for emotional well-being. It's a reality that many are facing, and it highlights the need for community and friendship to fill the gaps left by absent family ties. The holiday season is a time filled with bright, twinkling lights, the fresh scent of pine, and the joyful sounds of carols. For many, these sensory experiences bring back warm memories of family traditions. People remember decorating the tree together, sharing festive meals, and exchanging gifts. These moments create a sense of belonging and joy, wrapping everyone in a comforting blanket of nostalgia. However, for elder orphans, those who have lost their families or never had one, the same sights and sounds can feel very different. While the lights sparkle and the air is filled with the smell of pine, these elements can amplify feelings of loneliness and emptiness. The cheerful carols that once brought joy can now echo in the silence of an empty home, reminding them of what they no longer have. The contrast is stark. Where there should be laughter and warmth, there is often quietness. The joy of decorating a tree becomes a solitary task, and the festive meals are eaten alone. Gift-giving, once a shared experience, turns into a reminder of absence. What was once a season of togetherness can feel overwhelming and hollow, as the memories of family traditions clash with the reality of solitude. In this way, the holiday season, with all its beauty, can also highlight the pain of being alone. The very things that once brought happiness can now serve as a reminder of what is missing, creating a bittersweet experience for those without families. The lights may twinkle, the air may smell sweet, and the carols may play on, but for some, the season can feel like a heavy weight rather than a joyful celebration. Christmas can sometimes feel lonely, especially when we think about family gatherings that we might not be part of. However, even in these quiet moments, there are small gestures and acts of kindness that can bring us comfort. And a neighbor's warm smile or a kind word can brighten a day that feels heavy with solitude. It's amazing how a simple greeting or a shared laugh can remind us that we are part of a community, even if it feels distant at times. Pets can also be a wonderful source of companionship. The soft purring of a cat or the wagging tail of a dog can fill a home with warmth and joy. Their unconditional love and playful nature can lift our spirits and remind us that we are not alone. Taking a moment to cuddle with a pet or go for a walk together can bring a sense of peace and connection that is deeply comforting. Personal reflection can also be a source of solace during this time. Finding a quiet space to think, write, or simply breathe can help us process our feelings. It's a chance to remember the good moments we've had, to appreciate the beauty around us, and to set intentions for the future. This time of reflection can be a gentle reminder that while we may miss certain connections, we still have the ability to find joy in the little things. These small moments do not replace the love and warmth of family, but they can offer comfort and remind us that we are not entirely alone. Each act of kindness, whether from a neighbor, a pet, or within ourselves, can create a thread of connection that weaves through the loneliness, bringing light to our hearts. In recent years, society has undergone a significant cultural shift that has made life more challenging for elder orphans, older adults who have lost their families and often live alone. In the past, especially during tough times like the Great Depression, communities had a strong sense of shared responsibility. People looked out for one another, and neighbors would come together to help those in need. Families often lived close to each other, and it was common for extended families to support their older members. This sense of community created a safety net for many, ensuring that no one had to face hardship alone. Today, however, there is a greater emphasis on independence and self-sufficiency. While these values can empower individuals, they can also lead to isolation, especially for older adults. Many elderly people live alone, and the connections that once existed in neighborhoods have weakened. This shift can be particularly hard during the holiday season, a time that is often associated with family gatherings and celebrations. For elder orphans, the holidays can amplify feelings of loneliness and abandonment, as they may not have anyone to share these moments with. The contrast between the past and present is stark. In earlier times, the community played a crucial role in caring for its members, creating a sense of belonging and support. Today, the focus on independence can leave many older adults feeling disconnected and alone. This cultural change highlights the need for a renewed sense of community, where people come together to support one another, especially the most vulnerable among us. By fostering connections and encouraging shared responsibility, we can help alleviate the challenges faced by elder orphans and ensure that they feel valued and included. During the holiday season, many people can feel lonely, especially if they are away from family or friends. The speaker shares some personal strategies that can help cope with this loneliness and bring back the joy of Christmas. One way to do this is by creating small, meaningful traditions. For example, baking cookies for neighbors can be a wonderful way to connect with others. The act of baking not only fills the home with delightful smells, but also allows for sharing something sweet with those nearby, fostering a sense of community. Another strategy is to decorate your space in a way that brings you comfort. This could mean putting up lights, hanging ornaments, or even just placing a few festive items around your home. When you create a cozy and inviting atmosphere, it can help lift your spirits and make the season feel special, even if you are spending it alone. Watching nostalgic movies is another lovely tradition that can bring back warm memories and feelings of joy. Choosing films that remind you of happier times can create a sense of connection to the past and help you feel less isolated. It's a simple way to enjoy the season and find comfort in familiar stories. These small practices can help reclaim a sense of holiday magic, reminding us that joy can be found even in quieter, solitary moments. It's important to remember that everyone experiences the holidays differently, and it's okay to adapt these traditions in a way that feels right for you. By embracing these little rituals, you can create your own sense of celebration and warmth, making the season brighter. No matter your circumstances, building connections with others is essential for overcoming feelings of isolation. When we feel alone, it can be easy to forget how much support and joy can come from being part of a community. One great way to foster these connections is through volunteering. Helping others not only makes a difference in their lives, but also allows us to meet new people who share our interests and values. Participating in community activities like local events or classes can also help us feel more connected. These gatherings provide opportunities to engage with others, share experiences, and create friendships. Even if you are shy or unsure, just showing up can lead to meaningful interactions. In today's digital age, online groups can be a wonderful way to connect with others, especially if you have specific interests or hobbies. These platforms allow us to communicate and share with people from all over the world, making it easier to find a sense of belonging. It's important to remember that even small social interactions can provide emotional nourishment. A friendly chat with a neighbor, a smile from a stranger, or a brief conversation in a coffee shop can fill the gaps left by the absence of family support systems. These little moments can brighten our day and remind us that we are not alone. By reaching out and engaging with others, we can build a network of support that helps us feel more connected and less isolated. Every effort counts, and the connections we create can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life. During the holidays, many elder orphans can feel especially lonely. They may miss family gatherings and the warmth of human connection. However, pets can play a vital role in providing companionship during this time. For example, my neighbor has a dog named Max. Max is not just a pet, he is a source of joy and comfort for her. Every morning, my neighbor takes Max for a walk. This simple routine gives her a sense of purpose. She knows that Max relies on her for his daily exercise and care. This responsibility helps her feel needed and valued, which is important, especially during the holidays when feelings of isolation can be strong. Moreover, the bond between my neighbor and Max is filled with love and understanding. When she feels down or misses her family, Max is always there, wagging his tail and ready to cuddle. His presence brings her comfort, reminding her that she is not alone. The joy of playing with him or simply sitting together can lift her spirits in ways that human interactions sometimes cannot. Pets like Max can offer companionship that is just as meaningful as relationships with people. They listen without judgment, provide affection, and create a sense of belonging. For elder orphans, having a pet can help reduce feelings of loneliness and bring a sense of joy during the holiday season. The love shared between them can fill the gaps left by human absence, making the holidays a little brighter. As we reflect on the challenges faced by elder orphans, it becomes clear that our society needs to change in order to better support these individuals. Many older adults find themselves without family to rely on, which can make the aging process feel lonely and overwhelming. It is essential that we strengthen our social safety nets to ensure that everyone, regardless of their family situation, has access to the care and resources they need. This includes not only financial support, but also emotional and social connections that can help them navigate the complexities of aging. The holiday season offers a unique opportunity for us to come together as a community and reach out to elder orphans. Simple acts of kindness, whether it's a phone call, a visit, or even a small gift, can make a significant difference in their lives. By showing that we care, we can help rebuild a sense of togetherness that many older adults may be missing. It is a time to remind them that they are not alone and that there are people who value and appreciate them. Let us take this chance to create a more inclusive environment for elder orphans, where they feel supported and connected. Together, we can foster a community that embraces all its members, ensuring that no one has to face the challenges of aging without support. By reaching out in both big and small ways, we can make a lasting impact on their lives and help them feel a sense of belonging. As you watch this video, I want to take a moment to remind you that the holidays can still hold meaning, even if they look different from what you might have experienced in the past. It's okay if your celebrations have changed. What matters is how you choose to embrace this time. Focus on the present moment and find joy in the little things around you. Consider practicing acts of self-care, whether that means enjoying a warm cup of tea, taking a peaceful walk, or curling up with a good book. These small moments can bring comfort and happiness. You might also think about creating your own personal traditions. This could be anything from decorating your space in a way that makes you feel good, to cooking a favorite meal, or even reaching out to friends or family for a chat. Remember, it's about finding fulfillment and peace in your own way. You are not alone, and your feelings are valid. Embrace this season in a way that feels right for you, and know that it's okay to make it your own. During the Christmas season, many elder orphans may feel a deep sense of loneliness, but it's important to remember that hope and connection are still possible. This time of year can be a chance to reach out, whether it's to friends, family, or even new acquaintances. Simple acts of kindness, like sharing a meal, sending a card, or just having a chat, can brighten not only your own day, but also the days of others who might be feeling alone. As we reflect on our own experiences, let's think about what we can do to make this season warmer and more joyful, both for ourselves and for those around us. Maybe you can volunteer, join a community event, or simply check in on someone you know who might be struggling. Your actions can create a ripple effect of kindness and connection. We invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Let's build a sense of community where we can support one another and find joy together as we celebrate this holiday season. Let's express gratitude for the connections we have and the moments we can share. Wishing you all peace, connection, and warmth during these special days. Thank you so much for joining us in that insightful exploration of our main topic. We hope you found the information valuable and inspiring. Now, as we wrap up that segment, we're excited to shift gears and dive into something equally important, the role of diet in preventing cancer as we age. It's fascinating to think about how the foods we choose can have such a profound impact on our health. The great news is that the foods we'll be discussing are all natural and likely already sitting in your kitchen, ready to be incorporated into your meals. Plus, we'll be sharing some lifestyle tips that will help you take a holistic approach to your health. So, let's embark on this journey together and discover how simple changes can make a big difference in our lives. Stay tuned for some delicious insights ahead. Raw garlic is often praised for its potential health benefits, particularly in the fight against cancer. One of the key components in garlic is a compound called allicin, which is released when garlic is crushed or chopped. This compound is believed to have strong anti-cancer properties. When you consume raw garlic, you maximize the benefits of allicin, as cooking can reduce its effectiveness. Garlic helps protect the body against oxidative stress, which is an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants in the body. Free radicals can damage cells and lead to cancer. The antioxidants in garlic can help neutralize these harmful substances, reducing the risk of cancer development. Additionally, garlic has been shown to promote apoptosis, which is the process of programmed cell death. This means that garlic can help the body eliminate damaged or cancerous cells, preventing them from multiplying. Another important aspect of garlic is its ability to detoxify the body. It can help neutralize carcinogens, which are substances that can lead to cancer. By supporting the liver and enhancing the body's natural detoxification processes, garlic can play a role in reducing cancer risk. To enjoy the cancer-fighting properties of garlic, it is best to consume it raw. You can easily incorporate raw garlic into your meals in various ways. For instance, you can add minced garlic to salad dressings, mix it into dips like hummus, or sprinkle it over roasted vegetables. You can also blend it into smoothies or simply eat a clove of raw garlic with honey for a health boost. In summary, raw garlic is a powerful ally in cancer prevention and treatment thanks to its bioactive compounds like allicin. By protecting against oxidative stress, promoting cancer cell death, and detoxifying the body, garlic can be a valuable addition to your diet. Finding creative ways to include raw garlic in your meals can help you take advantage of its many health benefits. Broccoli sprouts are gaining attention as a powerful anti-cancer food due to their impressive health benefits. One of the key reasons for this is their high concentration of sulforaphane, a compound that is found in much larger amounts in broccoli sprouts than in mature broccoli. Sulforaphane is known for its ability to activate the body's natural defense mechanisms, helping to neutralize toxins and free radicals that can cause damage to our cells. When we consume broccoli sprouts, the sulforaphane they contain works to reduce oxidative stress in the body. Oxidative stress occurs when there are too many free radicals and not enough antioxidants to neutralize them, which can lead to cell damage and contribute to the development of cancer. By promoting detoxification, sulforaphane helps the body eliminate harmful substances more effectively, which can further lower the risk of tumor growth. In addition to their anti-cancer properties, broccoli sprouts are also nutrient-dense, meaning they pack a lot of vitamins and minerals into a small serving. This makes them a great addition to a healthy diet. You can easily incorporate broccoli sprouts into your meals. They can be added to salads for a crunchy texture, included in wraps for extra flavor, or used